Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church, and I'm here today to continue this week's topic, Promises of God from the Old Testament. And even though we tend to think the Old Testament doesn't have as much sway as the New Testament, that's not really true, but we find the character of God revealed in many, many places as he promises various things to his people Israel and then ultimately to us as followers of Jesus. So today I want to read from Isaiah chapter 41 and beginning with verse 8. But as for you, Israel, my servant, Jacob, my chosen one, descended from Abraham, my friend, I have called you back from the ends of the earth, saying, you are my servant, for I have chosen you and will not throw you away. Don't be afraid, for I am with you. Don't be discouraged, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will hold you up with my victorious right hand. Well, there are a lot of specifics in this promise here, if you will, this general promise. And it starts out in a strange kind of a way. It says, God is saying to his servant Jacob, his chosen one, and then he goes on, descended from Abraham, my friend. Now we have a sign, or we've had a sign out in front of our church that says, have you made God smile today? I don't know what people think about that, and I don't know whether they would say yes or no. But here is this crazy idea that God is calling Abraham his friend. Now, Jesus says the same thing in the New Testament about being called my friend if you do what I tell you. And so God in this promise begins with a relationship of friendship between himself and man. Now, that alone is a powerful thought that the God of creation, the God who put all of this together in the first place, wants to be a friend. I think so many times we see God, or people see God, as a, I don't know, punisher, as a rule watcher, as someone that's really unapproachable, and that we hope somehow, some way, in the final end, we might be okay. But that's not how God looks at it. In fact, it says clearly here, God wants to be your friend. And he goes on to say, I've called you from the ends of the earth. Well, God has spoken to all of us from all over the place, from the ends of the earth. Everyone who seeks to walk with God is included in this offer of friendship. Now, maybe you don't know that. Maybe you're not experiencing that, but you certainly can. You're not excluded from God's wide circle of potential friends. And for that relationship, or for those in that relationship, he says, you are my servant, for I have chosen you. Now, I know that in the New Testament, there's the concept of predestination, and God chooses. And a lot of people seem to think that much of life is predestined. You know, well, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die, is what you hear. Well, not necessarily. A lot of people die, not because they were going to die, but because of something crazy. You know, if I go out and take a gun, put it to my head, and it goes off because I pulled the trigger, that wasn't so much because I was going to die, it's because I put a gun to my head. If I go out and drink and drink and drink and kill my liver, well, I'm probably going to die. And it's not because it's my time to die. It's because I drank too much alcohol and killed my liver. And then accidents happen all the time. It's not so much that God is controlling everything we do as much as he's watching out for everything we do. He says here, for I've chosen you and I will not throw you away. Now, I grant you, you can walk away from God. You can choose to ignore him. But there's nothing you can do that will force him to walk away from you. Whatever the circumstances, whatever the situation, you can't make God go away. You can even tell him to go away, but he's not going to do it. And he says, I will not throw you away. And then comes these two phrases here. First, don't be afraid, for I am with you. Now, that phrase is repeated many, many times in the Bible. Jesus says the same words. Really interesting there. But he also says, don't be discouraged, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. So we have two very negative experiences listed here. One is fear. The other is discouragement. Now, maybe most of us haven't experienced fear in just an overwhelming situation. Oh, we're afraid of this, afraid of that. I'm driving down the road and I see one of those little cars with blue lights and all, and I look down at my speedometer and I'm going too fast. I think I'm a little afraid they might pull out. So I watch in the rear view mirror to see if they do. And I try not to go over the speed limit that much because, well, it's just simpler than having to explain to one of those folks why I did it. But even those little fears are nothing compared to what discouragement does to your life. When you're discouraged, you'll quit. If you try something and it doesn't work, many people quit. Now, I know the old statement about Thomas Edison. He didn't fail 1,000 times to make a light bulb. He just learned 999 times how not to make a light bulb. But most people don't. Their brains don't work that way. And discouragement for many comes quickly and easily, and it's paralyzing. And here, there's verses God says, I'm going to prevent that from you because we're friends. And he goes on to say, I will strengthen you. I will hold you up with my victorious right hand. I will help you. The next time you get discouraged, and maybe you already are, just think of it this way. God is right there waiting to help. All you have to do is ask him. Now, maybe the help won't come as fast as you want. Maybe it won't come in the manner that you want, but it will come. And that's God's promise for you today. Well, thanks so much for listening. Hope you have a great day. I'll be back tomorrow with some other thoughts. Thanks for listening. If you have a need or a prayer concern, let us know. We'll do whatever we can as fast as we can to help meet your need. God bless you. I'll talk to you again.